chapter, and he gives them just some verses at the very beginning about good stewardship, just this plan and a good plan. It really helps to make sure that our commitments are met, those kind of things. And Paul has urged these Corinthians to fulfill their pledge to the Jerusalem offering. So he's working in that dynamic. He suggested to them some things that we see in verse 2. He said, on the first day of every week. So he tells them to be regular. So there's this picture on the first day of every week. And the fact that it's the first day of the week gives us this picture also that not only are they regular, that they're setting aside according to what they have earned, but they're being worshipful, right? That this is part of the Lord's Day's worship. And I just want to say, first of all, just thank you to all of you who are continuing to give, who are continuing to just be on mission in the midst of this time. We had an incredible time at the Smoky Mountain Center, just in drive-in church. Pastor Ron shared today that he counted more than 160 cars. There were still cars coming in, but he counted 160 even before the last of those got there. So not sure exactly how many people were there, but we had more than we had 160 cars, and many of those folks had 3 and 4 people in them. Some of them more than that, some less, but just a great turnout for drive-in church. I think we looked today as we were disconnecting, and we restreamed that service on Sunday, and then also on just a live stream on Saturday night, and about 3,000 views outside of people that were there. And so we're grateful that the gospel is continuing to go forth, that we can't imprison the gospel. You can't quarantine the gospel, as some folks have said. And we just want to engage on mission. And we want to thank you for your giving and just engaging in the worshipful way that you're doing that as we continue to be on mission in the midst of this time. And so we see just some requests Paul made, but I want to jump on down to verse 13 and 14. And I want to just spend a little time there. We don't have a lot of time really just to connect, but he says this: be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be men of courage, be strong, and do everything in love. Some of the translations say quit ye like men, or to act like men. One translation that I have here with me says, be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong, let all that you do be done in love. And Paul gives these areas for them to focus, and he says, be on the alert. What are we on the alert against, right? We want to be on the alert. Scripture says that Satan roams about as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. We want to be alert against that. We've read in Paul's writing, as we've been walking through this, that listen, we need to be alert. We need to flee certain things. We need to be aware of temptation, that there's temptation that we have that come at us, but there's always a way out. He says, listen, we want to be alert for those kind of things. He says we want to stand firm in the faith, to act like men. Now, this picture of acting like men, what does that look like, right? I mean, when I was just kind of thinking about this, we want to be mature. We want to be people who are not acting childish and acting in these elementary ways. We want to be mature, act like men. He says, be strong. And then Paul sums this thing up, and he says, whatever you're doing, let it be done in love. And as we looked at 1 Corinthians 13, I think it was maybe Kelly who did that week, but we were looking at all these things, right? We recognize that if love's not our motive, right? It says you can do all these things, but if you have not love, then you don't have anything. And we need to let everything be done in love. Our motive for everything that we do should be out of an overflow of the love we have for God, that we might declare the good news of who he is, our love for other people, right? And we're a church that says we love God, we love people, and the way that we can see that is we put love in action. And it's a unique time. But I want to encourage you, if you got kids, man, have them write a card to an elderly person that maybe can't get out. Check on your neighbor, get groceries for somebody, be out doing all that you can do. Be alert. There's And there's times right now that we're facing, our kids are on media and social media and engaged through technology more than ever. But I want to tell you something. We need to be alert because Satan's out there and he's trying to put things in front of them, right? The pornography industry, all the things that are out there. There's a lot of good that's coming from these devices. There's a lot of good that's coming from being able to share the good news in a way like this, but there is a lot of evil that's out there as well. And so we want to be on the alert. We want to stand firm in the faith. We want to be cautious in the midst of those things. We want to be mature. We want to act like men, be strong, but we want to make sure everything that we do is done in love. What a great word for us today. God bless you. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Take 5, 1 Corinthians chapter number 16. God bless.